Hey everyone, it's time to do another music collection, and today we're going to be going through the CDs that I own for the band Deathstars. Deathstars are an industrial metal band. They've been around for about 26 years, 25 years, something like that, since the late 90s, early 2000s, if I recall correctly. And I've actually been to see them live. I saw them live in 2009 on the Night Electric Night tour, and it was really cool. I was big into them back then. Still really like them now. Not as big into them as I was at the time, but that's mostly because they stopped releasing as much music since then. That being said, they did release another album in 2023, so pretty recent, and it's also pretty decent. So as per usual, I'm going to go through all of the CDs that I have. I have some albums with multiple variants depending on the different things you can get on them, and also some extra bits as well. So let's make a start with album number 1. Starting off, we have Synthetic Generation. This is from 2002, and it is their first studio album. As you can see, this is the limited edition with a coloured enhanced CD, including 2 bonus tracks and 2 video clips. I think this is relatively hard to come by, this version. I picked this up in about 2008 when I was at university, so it's a bit of a gem in my collection. One of the few CDs that remain from when I was at university. On the back of here, we can see the full track list. So we have the usual track list for this album, the bonus tracks, and then the bonus video clips. So going through this, we have Semi-Automatic, Synthetic Generation, New Dead Nation, Syndrome, Modern Death, Little Angel, The Revolution Exodus, Damn Me, This Word I'm Not Allowed to Say, this one I'm probably also not allowed to say, and No Light. Bonus tracks, we have White Wedding, the Billy Idol cover, and Our God, the Drugs. Then we have the videos for Synthetic Generation and Syndrome. So this is a solid first album, I would say. It's quite different to the other ones. Certainly the vocals are different to later albums, but other than that, you can see everything is kind of coming together already this early on. So if we remove the slipcase, underneath you can see it's the blue version of the cover. So this is like the normal cover that you would expect. It's interesting, there's nothing on here to show that it's the limited edition except for what's written on the back. But if we open him up, you can see the coloured CD. So we've got the blue CD, which is really nice. Got a couple of scuffs over there. It says White Wedding written by Beat Idol, videos made by Entity. I like that from the very start they got their icon, their logo settled. It's a really cool logo with the D in the middle and then like the industrial things around the outside. I think their style is one of the reasons why I was drawn to them as a teenager. They just had such a unique look, not just to themselves but to everything that they do, and I thought that was really cool. Opening up the booklet, you can see images of the band there looking pretty weird. So here we have the lyrics to some of the songs. You can see not very complex lyrics, as you can see, but that doesn't make it, less interesting to listen to. Some dodgy looking car park of some description. There's a nice photo of the band, and here we can see the members of the band. So we have Nightmare Industries on guitars, bass and keyboard, Whiplasher on vocals, Beast X Electric on guitars, and Bone W Machine on drums. As far as first albums go, I'd say this is pretty decent. It captures the essence of the band pretty well, and it's decently mixed, and there is a sound there which carries over into the later albums. Next up is 2006's Termination Bliss. This is the album that really put Deathstars on the map. It's the album that introduced me to Deathstars, and it's a really solid album, still holds up to this day. Plenty of their known bangers are on this album. So we have Tongues, Blitzkrieg, Mother Zone, Cyanide, Greatest Fight on Earth, Play God, Trinity Fields, The Last Ammunition, Virtue to Vice, Death in Vogue, and Termination Bliss. On this album, I particularly love Blitzkrieg, Tongues, and Virtue to Vice, as well as Termination Bliss. I mean, pick any of these and you'll have a great time. But this album showed that not only was the style that they were going for, you know, really versatile and cool, but also that they were just great songwriters. On this version, we also have a couple bonus tracks. We have the piano remix of Termination Bliss and the Driven On remix of Blitzkrieg. We remove the cover. This is what the main artwork of the album looks like. Very iconic, spooky, a little bit of blood going on there. On the inside, this is what the disc looks like. So we've got the D logo once again. There is a picture of the band underneath in their iconic military outfits and hats. I actually went to a vintage shop and bought one of these hats back in 2009 because I thought it was cool. You live and learn, eh? I mean, Whiplasher can pull it off because it's part of the whole design of the band, but yeah, maybe not a 19-year-old me. Anyway, let's have a look through the booklet. There we have Nightmare Industries, this time just on guitars and keyboards, so no longer on the bass as well. And there's Whiplasher, still on vocals. Very, very cool imagery here. There's a picture of the band members all in body bags. It's lovely. We have Bone W Machine still on drums, some more lyrics. And then we have a new addition, we have Skinny on bass. So yeah, Skinny came in to take over the bass role, and he's still there to stay. Love Skinny Disco. I actually have a picture with him from when I was 19 at that Night Electric Night show. I'll put it on screen. It's pretty embarrassing. I was a bit like a deer in the headlights, but yeah, it was really cool to meet him. And there we go, and that's all the guys on the back. So we lost Beast X Electric in this album, but we gained Skinny Disco. And there are a number of lineup changes. Whiplasher, Skinny, and Nightmare Industries remain, but often they add and chop and change members throughout. So that is Termination Bliss. But before we go, I also have the extended edition of Termination Bliss. You can see it says Termination Bliss Extended here. There's meant to be a slipcover for this, but you know, as I've said before, when I purchase CDs for £4 from Germany, they don't always come complete. But the difference with this version is you only get the Termination Bliss piano remix. You don't get the Blitzkrieg Driven On remix for some reason, but you do get a bonus DVD. So it includes video clips, bonus material, and a media player. So that's cool. So on the inside you can see the CD is the same, although it actually says CD on it this time, in case you weren't sure. And then underneath that we have the DVD. So yeah, I haven't cracked this one open yet. You can see what's included on the DVD. It says Virtue to Vice, Blitzkrieg, Cyanide, and then the videos for Synthetic Generation and Syndrome from the first album. Before we leave Termination Bliss, I have a few singles from around the time. They don't add any bonus tracks or anything, but it's still nice to have them. So this is the Blitzkrieg Club promo CD. I don't know how I got these, to be honest. I did not work at a club. But this is a CD that just has Blitzkrieg and Play God on it, so it's purely a promotional thing. It's meant to be something that you would play at like an industrial night or a metal night or something like that. So it's interesting to have. And I also have the Cyanide and Mother Zone Club Radio promo CD, which, as you would expect, has just those two tracks on it. And finally, the Virtue to Vice and Tongues CD, which has those two tracks, but it does also have a censored version of Virtue to Vice. So that's the Termination Bliss album. Absolutely stacked album, just full of hits and absolutely amazing. I think if you're going to start your journey with Deathstars, that would be the one I would recommend starting with. Next up is Night Electric Night from 2009. This is a beaten up gold edition. I actually purchased this back when it first came out in 2009. I pre-ordered it and I bought the gold edition from HMV, I think it was. I remember making the long journey from my student halls to the shop to buy it. This isn't actually my exact version. I'm not sure Where that one went, this is one I picked up recently. But Night Electric Night, the third album, following on from Termination Bliss, is quite a tough act to follow. So you can see they probably had their work cut out for them. But it was definitely worth the struggle, because what they got out of this is just amazing. Personally, this is my favourite Deathstars album. In Night Electric Night, we have the tracks Shurtograd, an amazing opener, but I absolutely love that track. Night Electric Night itself, Death Dies Hard, Mark of the Gun, Via the End, Bloodstains Blondes, Babylon, The Fuel Ignites, Arclight, Venus in Arms, and Opium. On this gold edition, we also get Night Electric Night, The Night Ignites remix, it's quite a mouthful, Via the End piano version, and Night Electric Night featuring Adrian Erlandson, so it's like a heavier version of the title track. Disc number 2 is a DVD, and we have the music videos for Death Dies Hard, Virtue Device, Blitzkrieg, Cyanide Syndrome, Synthetic Generation. So basically, all of the same videos that were on the bonus DVD for Termination Bliss, in addition to the Death Dies Hard music video. We also have the making of Death Dies Hard, Virtue Device, Blitzkrieg, and Cyanide. So really cool to get those. Plus, Deathstars wallpapers and screensaver. Anyway, there's just something about Night Electric Night that it has this cohesive sound from start to finish. Every time I listen to it, I'm just thinking of this image from the front. It's so awesome. Really hard to describe. For me, it's like the ultimate industrial metal album. So you can see underneath the slipcase is actually this sort of book with a spine and everything. Really nice design. It's slightly taller than a CD and also skinnier in terms of the width. Like if we compare it to this one, you can see that it's actually skinnier but taller. Anyway, makes it difficult to fit on the shelf. On the inside, on the left, we have the DVD. Is there anything underneath? No. So that's the DVD with all of the bonus material. Here we have Night Electric Night and stuff about purchasing some merch. I actually have 2 Deathstars t-shirts. I have the Night Electric Night tour shirt, which includes the tour date that I went on, and also I have a Termination Bliss shirt, which I believe was for a tour, but it's not one I attended, so I have no idea where I got that from. Anyway, in the booklet, here you can see we have the lyrics. Hopefully we'll get some pictures of the band as we go through. There we go. So we have Nightmare Industries still on the guitars, but also on the electronics. There's Whiplasher on the vocals, as always. Cat Casino, who joined to be on the guitar in this album as well. Then we have Bone Machine on drums as before, and Skinny Disco on the bass. So basically they just added Cat to this one. And then on the other side we have the actual CD. So like I said, my personal favourite Deathstars album, I just think it's incredible. And whilst I would recommend people listen to Termination Bliss as their first Deathstars album, if you enjoy that, move straight on to this one. Before we move away from Night Electric Night, I have a second version of the album, and that is the Platinum Edition. I don't know if this version came out the same time as the gold version. No, you see it says 2010, so it's at least the year after. This version I picked up only a couple years ago because I didn't even realise this was a thing. And there's 2 things in here, so you can see it's 2 jewel cases. We have, first of all, this one is obviously Night Electric Night with no bonus tracks at all, so it's just the main 11 tracks. But disc 2 is something called Decade of Debauchery, and it's a remixes and bonus tracks album. So you can see we have some remixes over here, tracks 1 to 6. Then you have the remix competition winners, 7 to 9. So they must have held a competition to remix some songs. Unreleased album tracks, so we have Black Medicines and Division X, which I think are both from Synthetic Generation, or they're from that era. We have unreleased demos of Revolution, Exodus, Our God the Drugs, and Genocide, so really cool to get some demos. Then we have the off-topic crazy shit, so Fuel Ignites, Fuel for Cowboys remix by Skinny Disco, Shurtograd, Necrocock / Masters Hammer, and Fuel Ignites Phoebus RMX. I have no idea. I'm not sure if I've listened to the off-topic crazy shit, but it's interesting. So if we just take these discs out, so you can see the first one is just a standard version of Night Electric Night. so nothing to write home about. And then here's Decade of Debauchery, so it's a full-blown release. I don't know if they sold it separately. You see it's 2010, manufactured and distributed by Nuclear Blast. Maybe it was only available inside the Platinum Edition of Night Electric Night. The teeth on this are completely broken. But it's a cool oddity. I do like remix albums like this because you just get a different taste, a different flavor of the same songs. I remember I used to listen to Angel Spit back in the day, another industrial metal band, and they used to release remix albums, and it was always interesting to see the other takes on it. So here we just have a little history of the band. So you talk about their initial 2000 demo, then Synthetic Generation, Termination Bliss, and Night Electric Night. So pretty cool. Then we have some photos of the bands throughout the various eras. So we've got the colory, greeny version from Synthetic Generation. You've got this picture from Termination Bliss. Some more pictures from that time as well. Really cool to have all these different photos. It's them rocking a show. Then we have the Night Electric Night photo shoots. Very cool looking guys. Just a heck of a lot of sass. And then this just talks a little bit about some of the stuff that's on the disc. So yeah, Decade of Debauchery, very cool to have this. Interesting to have it as part of the Night Electric Night Platinum Edition. Around this time, 2009, 2010, I was concerned that this was going to be the end of Deathstars. You know, they didn't release anything for years after this, not like a full album anyway. So I was worried this was going to be the end, and everything they were doing was implying that it was coming towards the end. But thankfully, that was not the case. This next one isn't a studio album, but it's a greatest hits album that was released after Night Electric Night. It's called The Greatest Hits on Earth, and as you can see, the picture on the front is one of the ones that was in the Decade of Debauchery photo shoot booklet. The reason why I have a greatest hits album is because it actually has two bonus tracks on the front. So we have Death is Wasted on the Dead and Metal. Both really awesome, actually. I really like those tracks. And then the rest of the tracks are just songs from their previous 3 albums. This was released in 2011. So if you open this one up, so you've got the disc on the front, pictures of the guys underneath holding some megaphones. Then the booklet inside has a little bit of information about the... so you've got the lyrics for the 2 new tracks. You've got pictures of the band. Pretty cool photo shoot, this one. Got them all with this signature style. Like I was saying at the top, they just have a style which is unmatched, these guys. Very cool. And then some information on the albums on the back. Yeah, not much more to say. It's just a greatest hits album, but with 2 bonus tracks. Back on track with studio albums. Here we have The Perfect Cult from 2014. This is a limited edition digipack version of the album. So this is an interesting one. I actually kind of stopped listening to Deathstars around 2011, 2012. I was transitioning my music taste into different things, like moving kind of into indie and stuff like that. And whilst I still listened to metal, I didn't listen to it as much as I did previously. And so I wasn't keeping up with what was being released. I genuinely thought Deathstars had finished, so I wasn't keeping an eye on stuff. But then The Perfect Cult was dropped. This is 5 years after Night Electric Night. This one is a decent album. It's definitely not my favourite. I think probably if I were to choose a least favourite Deathstars album, it might be this one. I think Synthetic Generation is probably the worst one, you know, in terms of actual, you know, musical ability and stuff like that. But because I have a lot of nostalgia for it, this one kind of loses out to that. Anyway, the track list, we have Explode, which is a great track, Fire Galore, All the Devil's Toys, Ghost Reviver, The Perfect Cult, Asphalt Wings, Bodies, Temple of the Insects, which I really like, Track Crush and Prevail, and then Noise Cuts. On this version, we also have some bonus tracks, and as usual, they are, you know, alternate versions. So we have All the Devil's Toys 8-bit version, Explode remix, and Temple of the Insects remix as well. So if we open this one up, on the inside we have some pictures looking a bit weird. No pictures of the band just yet. Here's what the disc looks like. It's kind of interesting. They don't have the usual sort of like D logo on this one. Underneath we have a jar full of snakes or something. Then if we have a look at the booklet, this is what the album artwork is supposed to look like. And on the inside we of course have the lyrics. Now we have pictures of the band. So we have Whiplasher there, already looking a little bit older and more serious. Some more lyrics. Next up we have Skinny, of course. Then we have Nightmare, just Nightmare, no Industries this time. And on the back we have Vice. So that's interesting. So we actually lost Cat and Bone in this one, which I did not realise. So you can see on the back it says Skinny, Vice, Nightmare and Whiplasher. So down to 4 members and losing 2 of the members from Night Electric Night. So that is interesting. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, at least you've still got, you know, Whiplasher, Skinny, and Nightmare. Those are sort of like the key members in my mind. But sad to lose Bone Machine. He was there since the start. Anyway, that's The Perfect Cult. It is a good album. I do enjoy it, but it is my least favourite of the Deathstars albums. Finally, we have the 2023 album, Everything Destroys You. So this is 9 years after The Perfect Cult. So at this point, I don't know whether there was a hiatus, maybe there was, but they were completely absent for almost 10 years, and then they dropped this album. And I'll tell you what, it's actually really good. Like, I highly rate this one, despite the huge absence and the gap between albums. They somehow come back and absolutely crush it. Tracklist here we have This Is, Midnight Party, Anti-All, Everything Destroys You, Between Volumes and Voids, An Atomic Prayer, Blood for Miles, The Churches of Oil, The Infrahuman Masterpiece, and Angel of Fortune and Crime. So short and sweet, no bonus tracks. I don't think there even is a version of this album with bonus tracks. Down to CD, we've got the logo back. That's how you know we're so back. Then if we have a quick look at the booklet, I'm interested to see who the members are. So here we just have the lyrics. We don't seem to have any pictures of the band in this booklet. Aha, there we go. So we have Skinny Disco, Whiplasher, Nightmare Industries, and then hey, we have Cat Casino back. That's awesome. So we actually got Cat Casino back. We lost Vice, and we've got the band back together without Bone Machine, of course. But it's nice to see these 4 guys back together. That's awesome. Then we have the rest of the lyrics. Not a particularly interesting booklet. So yeah, despite their enormous absence from music, they came out with something which is really great. I believe they also have a touring member in addition to these guys now, Marcus Nitro Johansson, who is the drummer, supposedly, from 2019 onwards. Interestingly, he wasn't mentioned in here. Don't know why. Maybe he is just there for tours. Anyway, amazing album. Loved this one as well. So that is Deathstars. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. It would be interesting to see if other people are familiar with Deathstars. They weren't really like a massive band in my youth, and I imagine they're not much bigger now, to be honest. But they form a formative part of my teenage years. So it'd be great to hear other people's experiences. Anyway, that's everything from me today. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on another video.